Hi, I'm JR the Car Zar, and I love driving new cars. And hey, who doesn't? So I want to show you what I rented on a recent trip to Buffalo, New York. And I got a pretty good deal on this, I think, because no one wants to rent electric cars. And probably for good reason, because I had an issue that I'll tell you about. But let me show you what I got. It's a 2026 Hyundai IONIQ5 all-electric vehicle. So I thought I would show it to you. First, we're going to start in the back here because the rain is going to pick up. So I want to show you what's in back here first. You got room for your bags. It's a pretty roomy cargo area. And if we move these, you can see it has a roomy but not very deep storage area. This whole thing lifts up. You have there's no spare tires, so you have a tire filler, which is nice unless you blow out the tire and can't fill it with air, like happened to me with another electric car I had, a Nissan Leaf. I had to have it towed, so that was not a great idea. I don't really recommend getting cars that don't have spare tires. And then you also have the 110 volt cord. It's called a level 2 charger. You could plug this in at home, or if you have a high voltage charger and put 220 into the car, you could do that. But the car also accepts 440 or high voltage. And you come around to the side. This is a little awkward because it's in the back. Most of them are in the front. But if you open this, if you have your keys, see, now sometimes this is a gripe about this car. That doesn't work. So on my key, you have a button here to open the door. You have to hold it. And then this is where you would do your charger. This is for level 2. And then this is for the higher voltage. You have to pull this thing off, and they didn't make it real easy to do. God, this is hard. There you go. So the car is pretty roomy. Good sized back seat. Room for a lot of snow brushes. It has a pretty cool setting, colored lights in the door frame. You can perhaps see there in the door handle area and in the speaker grill. You have charging connectors in the back here. One thing I don't like, if it's not locked, the door handles stick out that say, hey, I'm not locked, come take what's inside. So let's take a look at what's inside. Oh, and by the way, if you have your keys and you lock it, it does hide the handles, which is a nice streamlined arrow look. And then since it's a proximity key, if you walk up to the car, it should open. Maybe it happened, maybe I'm trying to do it too soon. Oh, there you go. You can also press it. So inside, very roomy and comfortable. This has the power seat, has a lumbar. Now this center console is interesting. I guess you can put a 12-pack in there. I don't know. And this flips up, but it doesn't flip up all the way. So that's a little annoying because it's not totally out of your way. And then that makes for a shorter or not as deep holder here. And it's just that lifts that out. But yeah, it gets a nice for a few things that you have. But this could be designed a little bit better to go all the way up. You have your chargers here. No C charger, but I don't like that since everybody has USBs. Now they're only going with USB-C in some cars, which I don't like. Also, a couple of cup holders. Let me get inside. Typical glass cockpit, as they call them in airplanes. Down below, you've got a USB and a cigarette lighter / power port. Decent sized glove box. It's very deep, goes inside to hold their big manuals. Now, I found the radio very difficult to use. Now, it does have HD radio, so you can get the extra stations here. You got an HD1, which is, in this case, WBUF in Buffalo. And then HD2 is Family Life 60, whatever that is, probably some religious station. Very well lit four-way flasher button. You know, if you need to hit it, you see traffic stopping in front and you need to hit the brakes and the flashers right away, or you're slowing in a school zone, easy to reach. And but setting your stations is not good. It'll give you a station list here and searches for all the stations that it can find. And then it'll list them, and then you can select the favorites. And then once you select the favorites, you go back to the stations, and you can move their order by pressing that and move them around. But I just found it very difficult to set up the first time. I guess once you get it set up, you're okay. And then you have, you can scan stations, you can tune manually, delete presets, reorder presets, turn the display off, have a user's manual on the web. You also have a split screen thing here, so I've had the navigation set up so it'll do the radio and the navigation, or if you want full nav, it'll go to full nav. And if you just want a map and not the navigation, you can just set up map and it'll do that too. Plus you have, by pressing home, let's see here, media, I believe home. Now that shows all your settings, and they're, again, not real easy to use, and I had a problem using the phone, which I'm going to delete here because I'm turning the car back into the rental company. If I press this, I think it'll tell me. So there's something not right with that. Let's try settings. Device connections. Delete a device. Delete that. Goodbye. Yes. Goodbye. Okay. But now I was trying to make a call, and you could see the call in the screen. The caller could hear me. I could not hear myself, and I looked at every setting. I couldn't figure out how to get it to play through the radio speakers. So maybe shame on me for not being able to figure that out. I also can't figure out what that is. So that's weird. In your drive screen, you have a mode button here. Now the car does have paddle shifters, which I don't know. To me, I'm not doing Formula One racing, so I don't really get it. I mean, it's an automatic, so how much shifting action can you get? You will get more torque, and it has a lot of power. If you step on it, like most electrics, it'll go. But the most unusual thing is the gear shift. Get this so you can see it. This is it. So if you're parked and you want to drive, you put your foot on the brake and you just twist it forward. Now you're in drive. And it indicates it. Oh, there it indicates it there up on the top of the speedo. Plus it gives you, if it knows the speed limit, it'll display it due to the GPS. And then when you stop, you just push the end and put it in park. And then same thing if you're backing up. It goes into reverse. Your camera comes on and you've got reverse mark there. It's also interesting that it doesn't have a Hyundai logo on here. It just has the horn. What does that say? That just says airbag and just 4 little dots, squares, but it doesn't have a logo unless it's missing because it's a rental. I don't know. Maybe it's an aftermarket airbag. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, let's just do one quick little test here. I'll put it in sport mode and we'll just see how fast it gets up to. just in this distance of this parking lot, which is not even a quarter mile, probably eighth of a mile. So let's go. Whoa, I had the wheel turn. Wow, it really moves. I will say that. Hokey smoke. Faster than I expected. Let's try one more. That was fun. All right, let's see how fast we can go before I panic and run into those trees. We'll leave it here. Wow, that's got a 0 to 60 in pretty quick time. That's I will say that. So if you like quick acceleration, you will like the IONIQ5 by Hyundai. So back at home, safe and sound in the studio. That's the Hyundai IONIQ5. I know I said iconic, and isn't that ironic? But it is a pretty decent car. However, I am going to rate it on a scale of 5. I rate it a 3, and that's for a couple of reasons. One was it was not fully charged when I got it from the rental car place, and I had to charge it a couple of times, and it was only a 3-day trip. And I was disappointed in that it took so long to charge. It's supposed to be about a 250 range, and it had about 150 when I got it. So I was inconvenienced a couple of times. I actually got a 1-day rental credit from them because the car wasn't cleaned either. A 4.5 to 5 for comfort. I had originally rented a Prius, and it was really crammed. It was tight, and also a very low roof line where I had to crouch to get in it. So I got this. It was a very nice car, very wide and easy to drive. But I rate the charging door a 1 because it's in a bad location and it's difficult to open, along with that little rubber tab. And a 2 for ease of use of the controls. But it gets a 5 for power and handling. So overall, a 3, and 3's okay for me. I'm JR the Car Zar. I'm going to try to post some more videos here of cars that I've had a chance to drive. Like and subscribe and let me know what you think. Thanks.
JR the Car Zar. Copyright JR Russ Programming and Research. All rights reserved. Celebrity voice impersonated.